Hey, this is WhyBeAre with BeamNG.drive, and today we're going to be taking a look at the BKL Iron Man mod. And there's only one configuration option available and no color options because the color is the iconic Iron Man color. So there's not much to do there, so we're just going to spawn it up and take a look at it. And as you'll note, Iron Man is on fire. That's when he's flying through the air, he leaves like a cool streak behind him. But that means even when he's sitting on the ground like this, he's going to be on fire, which is kind of funny. It's like, why is he on fire while sitting on the ground? Because he's Iron Man. He can be on fire if he wants to be. And it actually is a pretty nice looking Iron Man model. I don't know what it's from because I didn't look into it that deeply, but I thought it looked pretty good. So I really wanted to take a nice close look at it. And now we can explain how to operate it, because operating it is a little strange. So the first thing you're going to want to do is you're going to want to do the lift up command, which is done by hitting page up. And what that does is it lifts his arms like that, so that way when you're flying it's a little bit more stable. And then of course you could lower the arms again doing page down, but I don't know why you'd want to do that. As I just said, page up is better. And then the actual controls. You have T, F, G, and H, and the left and right arrow keys. Now T, F, G, and H is kind of like an offset WASD in the location on your keyboard, so it's not like just a bunch of random keys all over the place. They're actually all together if you don't know that off the top of your head. And then left and right, those are pretty easy to access. So let's go over what the keys do. First, left and right, that controls your forward and backward leaning. So you can see I kind of leaned forward, then I leaned backwards, and I fell on my back like a turtle. That's what those keys do. Then we have F and H. Those control your left and right movement. Now F is on the left of H, but it'll make you go to the right. So it's a mirrored setup basically. You know, H, which is to the right of F, will make you go left. And then F will make you go right. So you might be thinking, well, T and G, that must be forward thrust and backwards thrust. And you'd only be partially correct. They are both forward thrust, actually. T is just a tiny bit of thrust, as you can see here. And then G is the maximum amount of thrust, as you can see here. Now that you know the controls, here's how you'd actually fly. The first thing you're going to do is you're going to go ahead and do the lift up command to fully extend your arms. Then you're going to go ahead and hold T to just get into the air a little bit and use left and right to make sure you ascend in a mostly vertical fashion. Then you can hit G to actually start flying, and then you can kind of level out with the arrow keys like so, and just like that you're flying. And you want to make sure you're flying with your head looking down because it's a lot more stable. I found when I tried to fly with my head looking up, it just didn't work basically. And we can hit F to go to the right, and then we can hit H to go to the left. And I noticed going to the left seems to work better than going to the right, and I'm not exactly sure why. I'm thinking maybe it's just not quite symmetrical or something, but it seems like it just is more reliable going to the left than right. Like right here, going to the left, it's no problem. We are rotating just a little bit, but we did basically a whole 180-degree rotation without much issue, right? So now we can kind of level out a bit. So just kind of dive. All right, so we're pretty level now. So we can go ahead and try to go left. And you see, it's not as fast to steer left. Like you notice, we're not really churning. But when we went to the right, we actually went to the right. You know what I mean? So yeah, it's just kind of strange. Anyways, let's go ahead and get back to the map, and then maybe we could actually hit something. Although it's not too interesting to hit anything because he doesn't actually deform in any way. He can kind of get his limbs bent in odd ways, but that's honestly about it. So here we go. Let's do some flying. So we'll get down low and show you you actually have a good amount of control over this. You can get pretty low and not hit things intentionally. So you can go, like this low and not have to worry about accidentally crashing, although there are trees here, so we got to clear the trees. You see, you got a pretty good amount of control once you get used to it. It's just you kind of got to get used to it and get in your mind what buttons do what. And once you do that, you're set. Alright, now, like I said, let's crash him. I'm gonna crash Iron Man. That just sounds weird, doesn't it? Alright, I don't want to do a diving crash. I want to do I flew into something intentionally or something. Or maybe I'll just fly too low. There. How's that? That works. It was kind of a diving crash. So right there, you notice his arms got bent. And when that happens, you can't really fly it anymore. As you see, we're just kind of tumbling about. That's from the misshapen limbs, because the thrusters are actually on the hands, and uh-oh! I just glitched out the game. And now that looks actually kind of cool. It's just like Iron Man in the darkness. He's there. He's ready. That's just weird. Anyways, unfreeze physics. And, you know what? Let's add a vehicle to the mix. I'm just going to grab a T-Series with the box on it. So we have a nice big target. And then we're going to hit it. And I'm going to do this in the easiest way possible because this is, even though a pretty big target, it's not something that's really easy to come at from the air. So first I'm going to just kind of move it into the middle of things. Right over here. And now we can go ahead and get Iron Man into the air. And I didn't extend his arms here. I think I'll be okay though, since I'm not really trying to maneuver too good. And I just want to basically become a speeding bullet Iron Man. So just something like this where we're flying in a straightish path, and then we're going to freeze physics and just teleport him to the truck because that is the easiest way to do this. And I don't know his orientation relative to the truck, so I'm just going to teleport him over. And that seems pretty good. I'm just going to adjust it a little bit, and then we should be set. So maybe about right here. Alright, that looks pretty good. So let's kind of get a nice camera angle and unfreeze physics. There you go. There's Iron Man slamming his head into a box truck. It actually didn't get through it because we're kind of traveling at an angle. I'm pretty sure if we wanted to, we could actually get through that. I just got to get Iron Man set up and then try it again. So let's start flying. And again, just nice and simple. Although this time I want to actually hit a certain direction. So we're going to actually try to do that. So I guess something like that. Freeze physics. Bring him over to the box truck and we'll just place him right here or so. Alright, now I know his orientation. So we're going to put him right there. And this time, I think we'll actually be able to get through the truck. So let's see what happens. There we go. Well, mostly. It took out both of the sides, but he did get stuck in the truck. And I say he because I imagine Tony Stark's in there just being a maniac or something. I don't know. But yeah, it's still... It's like I am not getting stuck in this truck, and he just blew it up. I didn't expect that. Alright, so let's do this one more time. But this time, let's throw some slow-mo. Oh, I forgot to mention, by the way, Iron Man does have a first-person camera. I've never actually tried doing this because that seems absurd, but maybe we'll try it later. For now, we have a truck that we're going to hit. And again, I forgot to open up my arms. Let's try to open them now. Alright. So get flying. Somewhere around right there should be good. And I'm not too worried about the angle on this one. Just something like that should be fine. Go to my truck. Teleport over a little bit away, actually. We gotta enable slow-mo first. I always forget about that. You have to enable slow-mo. There, now that slow-mo's enabled, we can go ahead and teleport him over. See, I just forgot to do that, so I want to make sure I did it right. Now I did. Teleport him right here. And go! Yes! I like that the suspension's making all this noise and buckling and stuff as Iron Man's plowing into it. Alright, that worked great! That was awesome! Perfect hit. I want to do... I know I said I would be the last one and kind of made it sound like it would be, but I want to just smash a normal car as well. Just seeing that. So how about we use... Let's use the new cars. So I'm going to use the Pessima because I haven't used it much, to be honest. And we'll just get a normal, cheap version of it. And we'll respawn my poor Iron Man who's all upside down and stuff. See, I call it Iron Man half the time, and I pretend it's just a suit and sometimes pretend there's a person in there. I don't know. I don't know what to call this thing. It's crazy. It's weird. It's Iron Man. So again, get it in the air. Get our arms open so we can kind of level out a little bit. We don't want to be too crooked here. Okay, it's hard to level it out. Forget it. Let's just go fast. Alright, speed achieved. Now we just got to bring it to the car, figure out the orientation. Alright, so it's going to be something like that. Get it where slow-mo is going. Perfect. And then we just teleport it into the car, or into the path of the car like so. Oh, a little off. Try here. That's better. Now we just line the camera up in a little bit better of an angle, like so, and go. There we go. Just slam your face into... Ooh, he blew the tire. His head got stuck in the tire and it blew it. Alright. Can you fly still? Nah, the weight of the car is too much. You know, I could try shoving him in a pigeon and see if he can lift up the pigeon later. But right now, I want to do a dive attack. So we're going to grab, let's just go with any version of the Burnside. Because if anything has a weak roof, it'd be this car. Because it's just older design where it's not like modern cars where they spend all kinds of effort to make sure they're strong when they roll over or anything like that. At least I wouldn't think it would be. So anyways, first thing we got to do is just kind of get up into the air. And we actually meet into the air here. So I don't want to go downwards there. I want to get climbing. There we go. That should work. So we just start a nice climb. And I don't know why he seems to be pulling to the side slightly. Maybe it's just the camera. No, he is definitely pulling to the side. But either way, I think that's high enough so we can actually bring our arms in and then dive. So we dive, dive, dive. Hit the slow-mo. Make sure we get a pretty straight dive here. Alright, that looks promising. So we'll freeze physics. Bring him over to the burn side. Just put it right above it like so. And then get a nice camera angle. Perfect. And crash. That actually did really well. It destroyed the whole roof beautifully. And it left even the doors mostly intact. Couldn't have asked for a better outcome than that, honestly. That worked exactly like I was hoping. Alright, now for fun, I'm going to shove Iron Man actually into a car. And see what happens. Now, like I said, I've not tried this before, so I don't really know what's going to happen. And I just popped the tire of the pigeon because they're too close together. So let's separate them out, get fresh tires, and then we're just going to try to teleport him into the car. Well, I never realized just how big Iron Man was until right now. He's about as wide as a pigeon. You can see both of his hands just sticking out of the doors. And I think that's about the perfect placement I'm going to get because his feet are on the ground, and that's as best as I'm going to get here. So, right. I honestly don't know what to expect here. Let's see. Can the car drive first? The answer is a definite no. What if we kind of have a little bit of lift? Maybe he's stuck in the ground a little bit. So there. With just a tiny bit of lift, you can drive it with him in the car. And oh no! Oh, I didn't see it. I should have saw that coming. I really should have. Like I should have saw that one coming. I'm gonna need to reset his positioning and reset the car. This is gonna be a little bit of a pain, so I'll move him out the way. Reset the car. Reset him so he's standing upright, and then place him back into the car. Alright, that looks pretty good. And I want to do one more test. I want to see, was it the Iron Man was stuck in the ground, or is it the weight? I think it's the weight that makes it where the pigeon can't drive. It's just too much weight. I don't think it's from the feet or anything like that. Just weight. And then what happens if you lift his arms while he's in the car? Uh-oh. That's not good. I think that's going to ruin his ability to fly. I think I should raise his arms, then put him in the car next time. But let's see what happens here. Okay. I have, like, no control here. Yeah, it's screwed up because all the thrust was pushing backwards. Like, I'm saying, tilt forward, and he's tilting backwards because I screwed up his arms. So that's a poor strategy there. So we're going to do this again. We're going to raise the arms first. Then we're going to teleport him into the pigeon. Also, if you notice, I'm freezing physics right as I teleport things just in case I do make a mistake. Just makes it a little bit easier to adjust if that's the case. But that one was perfect. I don't need to do anything. All right. So he is in the van. Can the van operate with the extra weight? Yes, but you can tell it's actually something going on the side right there. Like, I don't know if that's a dent or if it's like a reflection glitch. No, that's a dent of sorts. All right, first, what happens when you drive with a Tony Stark in you? Not much, or an Iron Man, or whatever. So what if he has a little bit of thrust then? We can go a little thrust. Oh, it's speeding us up. Oh, it's speeding us up into the bushes though. So now this thing is slightly faster, and I unfortunately don't know where I'm going with it, but it is faster. Yes! It actually looks kind of cool with the flames on it and stuff. Speaking of flames, I should have pointed out that the trail it leaves. Like, it does leave like a trail. Like, when you're flying through the air, it looks a lot cooler than when you're on the ground, but you see what I mean, right? Alright, well that's with a little bit of thrust. Now if you use all the thrust... Oh no, I cannot control this at all. My light bar's coming off. I'm flipping over. This has gone terribly. He's gonna escape from the police. You can't escape. The police will bring you in. This is not working. This is not working. Like, I go control this. I could rev the engine. That's it. Oh, now we're spiraling. Don't think anything's going to come out of that, so we could just reset it. And, well, I don't know where Iron Man's going at the moment. And we can probably reset him, too, or just see what happens. It's on automatic flying mode, basically, where it's just thrust. Looks like we're going to climb. Somehow I bent his arms back in a way that's actually climbing, sort of. You notice one arm is bent down and one arm isn't. You could tell it does affect the way he flies because of the, like, the angle he's at and stuff. You can tell it's affecting it. So that's pretty cool. But yeah, it's just going upwards. So that's kind of boring now. Let's go ahead and kill everything here. Get them all situated nice and calmly. And I'm going to go ahead and change the map and do one thing, but I don't want to do it here. So let's just go to Grid Small Pier where we have a nice big wide open area. So the first thing I want to do is try to plow Iron Man straight through a cinder block wall. And we're going to use the smaller cinder blocks because I don't think he has really enough force to really have anything interesting happen with the other one. He might be able to knock it over, but that's probably about the limits. And for this, I'm going to try to keep it simple. I'm just going to lean him back and then go full throttle like this. And I think there might be a little bit of friction from the ground, but I don't think it should really matter too much. So go like that, and we're probably about up to top speed by here, so we'll freeze physics. Bring him over to the wall, and just set him right in front of it like so. Perfect. And get a nice camera angle, just something simple like that, and go! Ha! Right through it! That looked perfect, alright. You know what? Maybe we could try it with the stronger one, just to see the retaining wall, the concrete retaining wall, that's what it's called. See, I knew it had a different name, I just couldn't remember it off the top of my head. And because he probably got damaged from that first run, we'll reset that, move him behind the wall. Not in the wall! Ooh, actually, in the wall. He can't do it. Like, I'm hitting thrusters, nothing's happening, so that's interesting. Doesn't mean he won't be able to get through it, though. Just means he can't move it, like, immediately. Which is probably what you would expect, I would think. I didn't really think about it, but yeah, that makes sense to me. Now that I think about it a little bit. So, go right about there. We got some momentum. Figure out which side of the wall. This side. Put him right here. I had to make sure I was Iron Man, not the wall. And go. Nope. Nope. This is exactly what I expected, though. I did not expect him to make it through. Anyways, the next thing I want to do is get a helicopter, put it in the air, and then have a collision. I gotta remember how to operate the helicopter, to be honest with you, because I don't quite remember. There we go! Oh, Iron Man's stuck in the helicopter. Bad Iron Man, no. There we go. Alright, helicopter, can you level out? If I remember the controls, it probably could. Screw it, we don't need to level out, just fly forward. That's fine, actually, that's totally fine. Now we gotta grab Iron Man, reset him, get him going into the air, and I want to actually go this way, even though it's harder, because it'll lead to a head-on collision, so something like that should be close enough. Helicopters looks like it's doing fine. Actually got into the air a bit. So we'll bring Iron Man over. Just make sure the orientation is good. Alright, good enough. Now we just got to line it up in a little bit better position, like right about here. Okay, that looks good. And let's do this full speed. Well, I couldn't really see what happened in full speed, but it did take out the helicopter, actually. Yeah, I think that'd be cool enough to warrant doing it again with some slow-mo this time, so... Alright, let's reset Iron Man, get him ready, and then we're just going to get the helicopter into the air. I really don't care what it does as long as it's in the air. So, yeah, that's fine. Go get Iron Man. I'm just going to fly him whatever direction. It doesn't really matter too much to me. Just something like that's fine as long as he has some speed. Figure out what angle he's coming at. Okay, that looks good. And let's see a crash. Well, it wasn't as violent that time because it didn't have the momentum of the helicopter. But it was enough to damage it, and, well, without a pilot, it'll probably crash anyways, but I think it's going to go down. Yeah, it was enough to, well, yeah, a pilot could have saved that, but I'm not in the helicopter. I was busy being Iron Man. So that takes care of that. Well, it's still flying. Look at that. That's amazing. You can do whatever you want. I'm so proud of you. Just keep flying, dude. Anyways, I wanted to kind of try to do this camera angle, which I've never tried before. Let's see. Here we go. Yeah, this is weird. I guess it works, sort of, but oh my goodness, is it awkward. Especially here where all the ground looks the same. That's extra awkward. Not for me. If you wanted to use that camera, feel free to, but it is not for me. And I think that'll do it for this video. I'm not going to do any sort of leap of death or anything like that because, as I said earlier in the video, it does not deform. It's not made to deform, so there's really no point in doing so. Anyways, till next time, this has been WhyBeAre. I'll see ya.